Howdy, Michael, a Mercedes guy here, and we're going to discuss 110, 111, and 108, 109. The way the frame is done, there's a front cross member, and then there's a Y that goes back under the car. On this car here, you can see it a little easier since this has been removed. Let me see if I've got the piece for So as you can see, the front frame on each side Y's where it meets this cross member and then goes into a square box. And what happens is these things will rust from the inside out. So what I do is I use a power washer and stick it up in there the best I can to power wash out the inside of this. And to do the front, you want to have your car on the most angle you can get. The back end up high and the front low. Because what you're doing is you're power washing inside here and to the back. Now it should drain a little divot. If it doesn't, then you want to drill a hole right back in here. But you should find the drains and stick a little screwdriver up in to get them to drain, because this box section goes clear back here. Anyway, get that power washed out. Now, what I also do, I'll add with some fittings on my power washer a piece of flexible and rigid so that I can really get clear back up in there. And you'll be surprised the amount of stuff that comes out. Then what I do, I use a little pump or electric weed sprayer. Hook this on to extend it. Of course, I blast this clean first with compressed air and stick that up in there with primer in the tank so that I can completely saturate the inside. Now, to really saturate well, you want to pinch off the end of the tube and drill a bunch of holes in at different angles all around the tube, so that as you spray, it gets 360 degrees. And completely coat that with primer. Epoxy primer is the best. Of course, you want to have a couple tarps underneath because you're going to have paint coming out. And once that's dry, for a couple days minimum, then you color coat it the same method, using a longer tube. In between the primer and the color coat, you want to blast this tube clean so it doesn't plug up your little teeny holes. Now, for the rear, it's a little bit different. Okay, on the rear, and this is the same for 110, 111, 108, 109. This is a boxed rear member. This has been cut away. And it actually goes into a cross across here. So it's pretty hard to get this section. However, I've done it by drilling a couple holes here and a couple on the bottom for the crap to come out. Now, to do these side ones, what you need to do is drill a hole right here, big enough for your wand to go in, and put a couple holes on the bottom for the drains. And if your car is very rusty, those drains are going to plug up quick. You'll have to keep poking them to get them to drain out. Now, one advantage on the left side, there's a little bracket right here that holds the side of the gas tank, and you can take this bracket off and take the clip out, and you'll have a larger drain area right here. Anyway, same process. Just clean out all that crap you can. Get it dry, and that's important. You want to have it in the sun for several days, and put your air hose on here to blast air through for 5 minutes every 20 minutes. Get that absolutely dry so that you can stick your wand in with primer and then a color coat, and that way you can help salvage the frame members of the car. Now, for your rockers, half the time you're going to have rusted through holes here, front, back. As you can see, there are some obstructions in the way. There are these welded in pieces, so it's going to be much more difficult to clean your rockers. But if you have a hole at the front and back, down low, at least you can get some washing action. You want your car at a heck of an angle one way or the other, and get those clean, get them real dry, and then prime. And as you can tell from this car, they didn't dip these bodies. This is raw material inside the frames. That's why they rust from the inside out. And of course, when you're done with your process, you want to get some grommets or make some kind of plugs for the holes that you've drilled. And doing this process, I remember one time on a convertible, I had several shovelfuls of stuff off the floor that came out from inside the frames. So do that, your car will last longer.